Hello, Rian. Am I audible? Okay, fine, guys. So let's start. So today we'll just try to complete these things quickly, and then we'll get into RN LSTM, right? So because those are the topics that we are supposed to understand. So in today's a class, we'll talk about Stanford NLP. I have downloaded a couple of models, and I'm yet to download. So Stanford NLP is another library, another package, just like a Spacey or NLTK or like a TextBlob that we have discussed. So but yeah, so Stanford NLP always comes with something better, right? Something better in terms of like providing you insights about the textual information, textual data set. And this Stanford NLP is built on top of a PyTorch basically, and internally, so they are using a couple of models. I'll show you those models as well. So they have domain wise, they have decided, or they have created a models first of all. And yeah, so many different kind of information that you will be able to extract out of the text in case of a Stanford NLP, because they used to provide a multiple different kind of a model in case of a Stanford NLP. So let's try to just understand that what a Stanford NLP provides. And one more thing that they have done recently is in August, so they have just moved their entire package to a new platform, and that is called as Stanja. So people like me who was using a Stanford NLP like a couple of years back or maybe a couple of months back, so you can try to import all of those things by using a Stanford NLP. Even it is working now, but they have moved this entire repo into some other places, right? And that is called as a Stanja. So Stanja is a GitHub repo that they have created last month itself, and all the advanced features are available in a Stanja, I'll say. So whatever that we have discussed so far, so forth, everything is available inside a Stanford NLP. You will be able to call all of those things. On top of that, so there is a models. So I would like to just show you one demo over here, right? So this is a new pages of Stanja that you will be able to find out, and they have just moved each and everything on this platform recently under MIT license, right? And here, if you will try to see, if you will try to look into this one, so these are the models that they have created. So as you can see, they have created like a biological model, they have created a clinical model, and they are like a multiple version of a biological model or like a clinical model that they have created. Now what is the meaning of it? So a meaning of this one is very simple. So they have just trained all of those things with the biological data, right? So that you will be able to annotate all the biological data, and then you will be able to train it. Because for a training, so you need a data annotation. And again, unless and until you don't have a data annotation, so you will not be able to perform any kind of a training on raw training, you can say. Or let's suppose if you are trying to build maybe your own bot, and you just have some raw data, you don't have like a label data. So in that case, for sure it will be difficult for your like a model to get trained. So if you are looking for those kind of a data, so yes, you will be able to create by using this library. So this library provides you this UI interface as well, where you can try to do experiments. So here let's try to understand these things. Here what I have done is, so I have just copied one of a couple of lines, right? Couple of lines from Google about Ebola virus. I have just copied and pasted over here, and then here I can try to select that what I'm looking for, and from here, so I can try to select a models. So all those models are available, like a clinical model, biological model, a multiple biological model for a different kind of data set. It's already available. This is nothing but a data set description which has been given to you, right? Now if I'll try to click on submit, so it will take like a couple of seconds, and then I will be able to get all the detail about whatever sentences which I have given. So I have given a sentence that a virus that can cause like a severe bleeding, like a organ failure, and can lead to a death. And in this one, so it is able to identify that what is what, right? So what is a determinant, what is like a noun, what is verb, what is pronoun, what is adjective. So it is able to identify each and everything. What is a comma, what is like a full stop, everything it is able to organize, or it is able to recognize. Same thing you will be able to do in your local system as well. So you just have to import Stanja, and you all will be able to perform exact same kind of operation. For example, so in my notebook, what I'm trying to do is, so I'm just trying to load one of the Stanford model. Now whatever is available inside a Stanford NLP, same thing is available in a Stanja. But like a Stanja, you can say, is a new repo that they have created in which they are trying to push all the new things. And recently it has happened, like just a month back. So it has happened, I'll say. So Stanja is a new, you can say, like a Stanford NLP package that they have created. Now here I'm just trying to give this data set, right? So Barack Obama was born in Hawaii and he was elected as a president in 2008. So here what happens is, it is, you are supposed to download a model again. So this is a little bit hectic, this is a little bit tough. So whenever you will try to execute this kind of a things, so you will have to download a model. There are multiple models which is available for a disease model, for a like a in general generic data set model which is available for a clinic. There is a clinical model which is available. So there are multiple models that they are providing to you. You will have to download it, and then only you will be able to perform this sort of a operation. If you will not download, so you will not be able to perform this operation. But yes, once model download will be done in your local, it's very easy. It's developed in a PyTorch, right? So PyTorch is like a bit faster as compared to any other platform that you can talk about. And here I have just passed one sentence, simple, right? Let me remove this one as well, and let me copy these things in a new tab, right? So this is the sentence which I'm trying to give. And if I'll try to list object and not attribute print dependencies, okay, I'll just have to like import this one pipeline. So NLP pipe sentence is equal to 0 and 1 separately I can try to give. So 0 means before dot. Okay, I'm just not executing this one because again it will start downloading the model. Here I have written a code, right? So Stanford NLP dot download. So it will start downloading the again a model, and in that case it will take some time, like maybe 4 to 5 minutes of time it is going to take. That's the reason. So I'm just executing this one where I'm trying to create a pipeline. Pipeline is nothing but where I can pass the text, and then here I'm trying to give my data, and then this one it try to print this log. So again you can run these things in a GPU, in the CPU, depends like what kind of a model that you are using. And here if you will try to look into a detail, right? So I am saying that it is downloading a model, right? What kind of a model it is downloading, what kind of a training people have done, right? Here you will be able to find out that they are using bi-directional LSTM, long short-term memory encoder, that they are using, right? And using a soft attention from LSTM. So attention from LSTM they are using, and by LSTM they are using, like I told you even in beginning, right? So these are just a library. If you have to build something from the very scratch, you are supposed to use some of the deep learning model. Even these libraries are using those deep learning model in a backend, right? So they are using LSTM. We have a better model as well. We have an attention based model. We have like we have, I can say, a transformers, right? We have a encoder decoder, a variety of encoder decoder which we can try to use, and we can also try to build a similar kind of a things. It's just a matter of a data. Let's suppose if I'm trying to build my own like a NLP library, I can do it. I don't have like a, so I can do it in the easiest possible way if I have this model and if I have a data. If I know this model, simple, if I know this model, I will be able to build it. Even they are using this simple LSTM model internally. They're not using anything fancy over here, right? So this is just a log information which it is trying to give it to you, nothing else. Here is a output, here is a result. So it is trying to identify that, okay, fine. So what is Barack, what is Obama, what is Waj? So I think we have seen all of those things yesterday itself. So everything is having some kind of a meaning, right? So it is trying to label this is as a punctuation, this is as a OBL. I don't even remember what is OBL. This is trying to represent as an auxiliary verb, right? Like a some kind of a subjective noun it is trying to represent, right, in this way. So it is able to give you some sort of a tokens in this particular place. Now if I look into the Stanja, right, so Stanja is trying to give you same kind of a things in a much better way. So here it is trying to give you parts of the speech, POS tagging. For each and everything it is trying to give you POS tagging. Now let's suppose if I'm trying to use a medical like a line over here, it will work fine. But let's suppose if I'm not using this medical line, like I have selected a biological model, and if I'm not using it, right, so in that case it will not give me like a information about everything. Maybe in some cases it will not be able to give me anything, right? So this is the model which has been designed and developed just for a biological like a and different kind of a disease, I can say. So for just for the specific data set they have built it. With other data set, it will work, but not 100%, right? Now, so it is able to give me a parts of a speech, then universal part of a speech. There is something called as a parts of a speech. There is something called as a universal. So here, when I'm talking about a parts of a speech, so you must have seen that there are a multiple variety of the noun, right? If I'll just go to Google and if I'll just try to type like POS tag NLTK, just this is similar, like it's the same thing in everywhere, right? I can try to like select any of these options. So these are the detailed parts of the speech. You can say there are multiple variety of the noun, right? There are multiple variety of the noun. All of these things are noun itself, right? All of these things are representing a noun, but there are variety of the noun, variety of the adjective, variety of the adverb they are trying to represent. JJ means adjective, but we have a multiple variety of the adjective over here. And this is what you will be able to get in terms of a parts of a speech whenever you are trying to like find out a parts of a speech. But if I'll talk about a universal part of a speech, right? So it will just try to give you a noun instead of giving like a NNN or NNJ or NNS, right? So it will just try to give you only noun. That is a universal one, right? Means it will not try to segregate again. This is called as a universal parts of a speech. And this is also you will be able to find out. You can just try to type any text, or you can try to load, you can try to install a stanza inside your local system, right? And then you can try to call, you can try to like make a call, you can try to pass your same data over there, and then you will be able to get a similar kind of information. So this information like you will be able to get with every library, whether it's a NLTK or whether it's a text blob or whether it's a like a Spacy or whether it's a Stanford NLP or whether it's a stanza. So you will be able to get this kind of information from everywhere. But again, so the way they have trained the model that they are using, the data set that they have used is different. You can say that Stanford always provides one of the best possible model in a NLP. It's a best model. It's much better than you can say like a NLTK or like a Spacy or a text blob that you will be able to get. Stanford always try to create a benchmark for any kind of a NLP task. Again, I'll show you like even in my transformer like a task, I'll show you that for any kind of a benchmarking, we are using a data from a Stanford itself, right? So they do like a heavy research kind of a things in case of this one. Now if I'll talk about a lemma is nothing but lemmatization, right? So here is a lemma that we are able to get for every word, right? For every word we are able to get a lemmatization, right? So somewhere you will be able to find out that it is trying to transform the word. Most of the time it is not transforming it, because lemmatization always try to like give you a nearest possible word or nearest possible root word. It is going to give it to you. So just you can see over here, so chills, so it has converted to chill, right? Apart from like this everywhere, it's almost like a same. It is not doing a much conversion in this particular place. So this is a lemmatization. I'm able to get NER, name entity recognition. So it will be able to recognize each and everything. Organ failure is what? It's a kind of a disease. Fever, headache, muscle pain, chill, vomiting. So these are basically nothing but it's a disease, because I'm just using a model, right? I'm just using a biological model. Now let's suppose if I'm going to change this model, what will happen? Maybe I'm trying to use a radiology model, right? Let's see whether it is able to give me a same thing or not, right? So now muscle pain, last time it was what? Last time it was a disease. It was labeled as a disease. It was trying to give it to me. Now this time, right? So pain is an observation, right? Muscle is nothing but anatomy. So fever is an observation, right? So this label had changed. This is the different models. You can try to create your own model with your own labels as well. And even you will be able to perform this kind of a task. Last time bleeding was what? Last time bleeding was a like a disease. But in this model, bleeding is basically an observation, right? Virus was a disease. Virus, no, I don't think it was able to recognize a virus, right? No, virus was not there. Yeah, it is now an observation, right? Severe, so observation modifier. So these are the labels which people have created, I can say. These are the labels which people have created. These are the different labels with respect to a data set. So this is how like difficult it is. So whenever you will try to like deal with the NLP, so like in a kind of a object detection, you try to annotate a data first of all, and then you try to train it. Similar way, so we try to annotate our data in NLP, and then we try to train it. We try to create a label in a very first place, and then we try to train it. And it depends. If I will create a model, maybe I can just try to name this observation as XYZ. right? Possible. It will be able to give me my label, right? Although we try to give like some meaningful information, but still, let's suppose I'm going to change the model, right? So in that case, like if you will, again, is anatomy, right? Anatomy it is able to recognize. So this is how like different models has been like designed, I'll say, right? So this is how like this entire things has been designed. So organism substances, it is trying to consider blood. So organism as a human organ, it is trying to consider, right? Muscle as an organ, it is trying to consider. So these are the different like models which behaves differently. So that this is how like if you are going to use some model from NLTK, it will try to give you result in a little bit different way. If you're trying to use model from the SPACY, it will try to give you like a model in a different way, because the way they have labeled the data set that they have used is different. But yeah, Stanford is one of the benchmark, and yes, it's always better if you can try to use a Stanja, right, from a Stanford itself. Like it is like a much more accurate as compared to like any other model which is available. So I have given a biological data, I'll just select a biology model. For me that will be better. Yeah, species I have used, I think biology, this NCIV, yeah, NCBI disease. Yeah, so now disease everywhere I'm able to get it, right? Universal dependencies, like how one word is related to other in a backward direction or in a forward direction. So how these things are trying to understand each and every one. This is a same thing happens in case of a bidirectional. We are using a bidirectional LSTM. So when I'll talk about a bidirectional LSTM, so I'll tell you that, okay, so it will not only try to learn in a forward direction, it will try to learn, it will try to back propagate in a like a reverse as well as in a forward direction. From both sides, it will try to learn. And there is a certain purpose behind that. So whenever we'll try to talk about a core model, so you will be able to find out these things. Now it is trying to show you a dependencies based on that. So if you will just try to observe, again, this dependencies are going to change if you are going to change your model. These dependencies are not going to be a same, I can say. So here you can say that how like this particular things, this noun, if I'll talk about, is related to some other word, or one word is related to other word. So for every word it is trying to give you this kind of a relation, that from where it is trying to understand what, basically, right? So bleeding is basically a noun, and it is trying to relate itself with a conjunction, which is nothing but like a here. So it's trying to create a conjunction with a another noun, which is nothing but a failure, right? In this direction, again, cause is connected with bleeding, right? And again, like an adjective for this one is nothing but severe. So like what bleeding? A severe bleeding, right? This is what we used to say. So it is able to understand all of those things, you can say, right? So this is how like a powerful this Stanford NLP or Stanja is, which will be able to like identify most of the things, I can say. Treatment is a supportive hospital care. Now here, so hospital is a noun, this one is noun, this one is noun, this is the auxiliary verb, this is adjective, right? So now this is how all these things are dependent. So this care depends upon, treatment is supportive, all these three things, it is depending upon all of these things, these three things, I would say. And now, so like it is trying to compound with hospitals, you will say. So treatment is supportive, right? And somehow it is depending upon the care, right? So again, in other words, so like if I'll talk about experience is a verb, and it depends upon later comma a, right? This is how it is trying to correlate. And person, so basically like a later a person, right? So it is trying to correlate these things with the experience, that okay, fine, so this is related to the experience in this direction, and in the forward direction it is related to bleeding, right? So person may experience bleeding, right? And then experience related to blood, right? And here, so yeah, bleeding and blood. So here, this is the objective by which it is related, and it's nothing but like yeah, punctuation. And no, not with blood, so with the punctuation it is related to each other. So this is just trying to show you like how like a machine will be able to learn, and then how one thing is related to other. This is what a kind of a things that you will be able to find out in case of a universal dependency. So again, you can try to load any of this model, you can try to pass your own data, and you will be able to test exact same thing. Almost every library does that, right? But this is one of the like advanced library, right? Again, it's a multilingual library. So you will be able to find out these things in a multiple languages, not only on a English, because as language changes, so this grammar is going to change. Grammar is not going to be same for each and every languages. So this is how tough these things are. So NLP is like, you can say, much more like a, like I can say like advanced or much more tougher than I can say like a computer vision problem that we used to generally solve. Now, so I think my execution is done. I was just trying to download the Stanja, right? And yeah, I'm able to download a Stanja over here. I've just installed a Stanja and download a Stanja NLP. Let me try to copy and paste this code as a Stanja model is downloaded. I was just following its official Git repo. Okay, so just print dependencies. So now just print it. Yeah. So yes, this is the same output which I was able to get from the Stanford NLP, and this is the same output which I'm able to get from this one. Now, what and all things are there inside this model? So this model can do a sentiment analysis. This model can do a dependency parsing. This model can print a limmatization, a POS tagging, tokenization, or NER. So what you have to do over here is, so you can try to call like a print what. So you wanted to print like a dependencies, or like you wanted to print like tokens. So it will be able to give you a tokens. So text is a Barak, lemma is Brak, right? This one, expose, feet, number, and all those information which I was able to get in a like yesterday's class, right? Now again, so I can try to print like a word over here. So if I would like to print a word, so I can try to do that as well. Similar kind of output, little bit different. You will be able to get just a same like a kind of operations it is going to perform. So these are the different dependencies. Okay, build doc ent text sentiment. Okay, so let's suppose if I'm trying to print the sentiment, int object is not callable. Yeah, so sentiment is equal to 1. It is trying to give me like a Barack was born in Hawaii. So let me try to give some new sentences. So these are the things which it can print. Apart from this, it will not be able to do anything else. Simple. This is what it means, right? So here, let's suppose like I can try to write, I am feeling happy, and yeah, load the model, pass it, and sentiment is equal to 2, right? So 2 is nothing but like a kind of positive sentence. Now I'm feeling sad, so for sure this number should change. Yeah, so 0, so 0 1 2, this is bad. EOL, okay, so where I have made a changes here, so EOL, yeah. So it is just trying to give me a sentiment. So for any kind of like a data, if I would like to find out the sentiments, so yes, I can try to find out the sentiments. These models are already trained on top of those things, so I will be able to get the sentiment. So just if I have to build like a sentiment, if I have to do a sentiment analysis, instead of like using I can say like building a sentiment analysis, I can just try to call this model. I will be able to get the sentiments. There won't be any kind of a issue, right? So yes, this is something that we can do. And apart from this, there are many things I can try to do it. So where is my NER? Word, string, token, to dictionary, text, sentiment is fine. NER, add properties, build dependencies is fine. String, doc, entities, ent. Oh, NER it is supposed to print. Print wise this one. To dictionary tokens is fine. So name entity recognition, it can do it. Yeah. So yeah, in terms of token, so this is like text is this, limitation for this one is this, and then like a string head mix NER. Yeah, so I'm able to get NER inside the token. So NER for everything I'm able to get. Name entity recognition, right? So I can try to write like India. Yeah. So India is a beautiful country. So as of now, it is trying to identify India as a GP, geographical position, right? So it is able to recognize it. So yeah, so I'm able to get NER over here, right? So in terms of tokens, so it is able to print each and everything, each and every informations I will be able to get. So let's suppose if I'm trying to like do something, I can try to use this library. I can try to pass my sentences. I will be able to get a sentiments. I can try to pass my sentences for every word, right? I will be able to get like a limitization. I will be able to get this NER, and maybe I can try to use NER as a tag, right? And then on top of that, so I can try to like do something. I will be able to build some kind of identifier for all of those things, right? Or maybe I can try to build my own grammars on top of these things. So these are the things that is available by default, right? These are the things which is available by default. You can like try to use it, and yeah, on your depends upon the need. Not add property, NER is fine, and then dependency ENT dependencies, ENT doc means, yeah, same token, it is able to give it to me, same GP. Yeah. So whatever you are able to see in this particular place, right? POS, yes, I'm able to get it. Universal parts of speech, you will be able to get it. Lemma, yes, I'm getting it, right? NER, I'm able to get it. And again, universal dependencies. So each and everything, whatever this library provides you, so you will be able to get it. But if you see over here, so I have downloaded this model, and size of the model is a little bit huge. It's a 500 MB of model, which I have downloaded. And again, so this Stanja is available in a multiple languages. So you can try to like download a Russian, maybe a Chinese, or like maybe a German language. So you will be maybe a Hindi. So you can try to download that particular model, right? So every time like you have to download those many models, and then only it is going to work for you. As simple as that. But yeah, it's a beautiful like a Stanford model that people have created, and that you can try to use it anytime that you want. So this is all about, I would say, guys, in terms of Stanford NLP. So this is the capability that Stanford NLP can do, the Stanford NLP can perform. There are many more things, there are many more models which you can try to explore, right? But again, if I'll talk about a base model, so base model is same, deep learning model that we are going to study. So whatever deep learning model that we are going to study, so that will be a base model. So fine, I'll just take a couple of questions, and after that, so I'll just move into a like a RNN LSTM discussion, because what I feel is like those things are very much important as compared to this one. Can we download it in a Conda environment? So yes, I am able to download it. So you can, where will be the, when we need the universal dependencies in a real project? Uh, just if you are, in case if you are trying to like train the model, and then if you're trying to like looking for maybe some kind of a new training data set, and you are looking for like a noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb. So in that case, you can try to use universal dependencies and label it, and just for labeling the data. If you're looking for some labeling the data, so yes, for labeling the data, you can just use it. Or maybe let's suppose if you're trying to build this one, maybe Grammarly kind of a tool, if you're trying to build, right? So Grammarly will be able to identify a grammars. How it is able to identify grammars, right? Because it is able to understand your sentences. Even if you try to type something on a like a Gmail, right, it will be able to understand your grammar. So how it is able to understand a grammars? So for sure, it is able to understand your dependencies, universal dependencies, means relationship between the words. It is able to understand, and based on that, it is trying to give you some kind of a suggestions, right? So over there in those kind of a tools, you can try to use these kind of a libraries extensively. So wherever text is involved. how can do NER for a Indian language like a Hindi, Marathi, etc. for a particular domain. So you will have to, for Hindi it's available, right? So you're not supposed to like worry about Hindi. I think for even like couple of Indian regional languages, so these things are applicable. Okay, so how we can create our own NER for a specific use cases. I think there was one slide I used to teach in my previous lectures where I used to show them like a automata theory itself, like how we can build a end-to-end grammar by ourselves. That was available in my old, I can say this one. Okay, we'll see. So like how we can try to train NER in a transfer learning. So I think in a transfer learning, I have already included a small, one single project. Approach I have changed because a couple of years back when I used to teach NLP, so it was different. Now it's different. So I just changed the approach. What about data cleaning? Is it used? No, data cleaning, you can just try to remove a stop words or something, which you can achieve it just by using NLTK. You don't even need this kind of a library. You don't have to even download the model. So it will be like unnecessary burdens on top of execution that you are going to face. Okay. So now next thing that we are going to start over here is something called as a RNN. So we have discussed a lot about CNN, right? So because RNN is a real things, all these libraries are using that same RNN model, right? Whatever NLP model, or even if you have to create a chatbot from the scratch, which you will for sure. So you are going to use RNN itself. Let's to understand RNN and its entire series. So in CNN, if you remember, right, and if you try to recall, so in case of a CNN, what happens is, if I'll try to compare a CNN with respect to a RNN. So in CNN, what happens is, so you can try to pass a data. There will be a convolution, there will be a pooling, there will be like a padding and all those things we try to perform. And then we try to send this data into a feed forward network. This is what we have learned in case of a CNN. So there will be a CNN layer, convolution layer, plus there will be a forward connected layer. So if you will try to combine this thing, so we try to build any kind of a classifier, right? By combining a CNN and by combining the forward connection. Now, so what is the issue with this one? Why we used to say that if we are dealing with a speech, if we are dealing with a text, so these models are not sufficient enough to perform or to solve your your problem statement, right? So let's suppose if I have a problem statement over here, let's suppose I wanted to build a system, right? Kind of a question answering system. So if I'll try to ask a question, so it should be able to give an answer. Or maybe I'm trying to build a system which will be able to understand my context, and maybe based on that one, so it can try to give me some kind of a responses. Example. So example is like a chatbot, right? So let's suppose if I'm trying to ask a question that how are you, right? And again, I have asked a question, how you doing, right? Both questions are same, but if I'll try to understand this context is same, but if I'll try to understand the input data, right? How are you and how you doing, right? So input data is different, completely different, you can say, right? In this particular cases. So unless and until system is not able to understand the context of both of these things, for sure system will fail either in either of these things, right? Or else, let's suppose if I'm trying to write, generally like I used to give this like a very popular example, right? A bull example, right? So let's suppose if I have written that, okay, so bull is going high. If I'm trying to say that, okay, so bull is going high. Now, what is the meaning of this, right? So in general, people will be, I have just a four, like a word over here, four tokens over here. And with the help of four token, I'm trying to explain my, I'm just trying to express myself. So I'm trying to say that, okay, fine. So bull is going high or bull is running high, right? So in this case, generally a bull means, right? So bull simply means that it is a animal that we are talking about. I'm just talking about an animal in this case. Let's suppose I'll try to type this same thing into a stanza. So let's try to see that what we are able to. Bull is high, right? And okay, so NER wise nothing, and lemma wise something, and then bull is going high. Bull is going high. So it is trying to understand these things as a noun. Let me try to use other model over here. So these are the languages, guys, that it supports. So you can try to find Urdu also. It supports Urdu, Thai, Spanish, Tamil, Telugu. It supports, right? So you will be able, like I told you, right? So you will be able to find out some regional language as well. Marathi, yeah. Someone was talking about Marathi. So Marathi is already available. So you're not supposed to like train it. You can just type it. You can just use this model directly. Irish, Italian. So just look into that. Yeah. So you will be able to get the model. And now let me like use some of the pre-trained model, and bull is running high, summit. Yeah. So NER wise nothing. Let me change maybe like a clinical model. Yeah. So it's trying to say, tell me like an observation modifier. Yeah. So again, different models are trying to understand each and everything into a different way. But what is the context? What is the context which I'm trying to explain, right? So I'm trying to talk about basically a like a stock market over here. It is not even able to recognize a bull. Maybe I can try to write these things in a B. It's a different model actually. So if I'll try to use some generic model, in that case, it will be able to identify all these models are like just a biological model. So NER wise, nothing. Animal somewhere. Okay, I can try to use same sentences even over here. So let me check what kind of a NER which I am able to get. So this is a Stanja English model, and bull. Bull is what? NER wise, it's trying to understand objects. Yeah, so it is trying to understand some kind of a noun in this particular place, right? Okay, so coming back to our discussion. So here, what I was trying to talk about is like bull is going high, if I'm trying to say. So in this case, I'm trying to talk about what? I'm trying to talk about a stock market. But from where I will be able to get a context of a stock market? I know that I'm talking about stock market, right? So, but as an unknown person, right? So let's suppose if I'm talking about that, okay, so like if I've written one more sentences before this, or maybe after this, if I've written the sentences that, okay, so fintech, in a fintech, so I can write in this way, in a fintech, huge investment is done, right? And because of that, bull is going high. So if I have written this kind of a things that in fintech, so huge investment has done, and because of that, so bull is going high. If this is a sentence, if I'm going to give it to you, right, then you will be able to understand the context. If I'll tell you the entire sentences, if I'll just tell you bull is going high, right, out of nowhere, so you will think that, okay, so I'm just talking about some animal, right? Because bull is nothing but it's an animal. A dictionary, if I'll talk about a dictionary word, so you will try to understand that it's an animal, right? So here it is not only supposed to take the current input, but it is supposed to understand a previous input or the input which we are going to give afterwards. It is supposed to understand both of these things. Unless and until you are not able to understand, you are not able to memorize this context, you will not be able to answer, you will not be able to perform any kind of a task, right? So this is where CNN models are going to fail drastically. What is a reason behind this? So a very simple reason behind this one is, so in this convolution, right, we try to do what? We try to learn basically kernel. If you will try to recall your memory, so we try to do what? We try to learn a kernel. Kernel is nothing but matrices that we try to learn over the period of the epoch. And then here, so we try to train the weights. Here we try to train a kernel weights. Here we try to train a connection weights, right? So we try to train the weights in terms of like both of these places. And once my weight is trained, right, I just pass a data and then I get the output. Again, pass the data, get the output. But whatever output that I'm able to get, right, it is not trying to store somewhere. So whenever I'm trying to give a new input, right, so it is not nothing, it's not having any kind of a memory, right? It is just trying to pass through the kernels and then forward connection output. Simple. So you are not trying to store anything, but to solve this kind of a problem, I'm supposed to store a context. I'm supposed to store something from the previous conversation. If I'm not able to store, for sure I will not be able to like understand. For this bull is going high will be a new entity for me, right? So if it is a new entity for me, I can try to train this kind of a model even by using a CNN kind of architecture. That is fine. But here, so if I'll try to give bull is going high, so it will try to understand this as a new data, a new set of a data it will try to understand, and it doesn't even remember that I have already given a sentence called as in a fintech whose investment has done. So it will not be able to remember. So we need a such kind of a model which will be able to remember these things. And this is where a recurrent neural network comes into a picture. So researchers have proposed an architecture saying that what if we are trying to give the input, this is just a symbolic architecture we are trying to derive. So what if we are trying to give the input, right? So if we have like a input over here, and if we are able to get the output. Okay, so if we are again, okay, so if we are giving an input, okay, this picture is not good, so I'll just change it. Yeah, so if we are giving a input over here, and if we are getting an output, right? So what if I will try to give back some part of our output, or maybe some fraction, or maybe some vector of our output as an input to the next layer, right? So what if I will be able to perform such kind of operation? So in this case, what will happen is, so I will be able to memorize, I will be able to store some kind of information which I have already processed. So here, it's not like I will just give an input and I'll get output. No, I will try to store some vector also. I'm not saying that you are going to store the entire output. Don't think in that way, right? I'm not saying that you are going to store the entire output and then next time you will try to take a new input plus output from the previous one. No. So some context I'm going to store, right? Here, so the context will be a fintech, right? So fintech and investment can be a context, right? Investment Hughes can be a context, right? So Hughes fintech investment can be a context, I can say. So I'm going to store those contexts, and if I will be able to do it, right? If I will be able to do it, so next time when I'm going to give this set of the sentence, bull is going high, so it will try to store, or it will try to give me output by considering a previous context or previous sentences that for that it has given me the output. And keeping these things in mind, so researchers has developed a recurrent neural network kind of a architecture. Again, inside this architecture, you will be able to find out a variance like a CNN. CNN is a very generic name. You must have seen AlexNet, LeanNet, BGG, Inception, ResNet 50, DarkNet, GoogleNet. The other architecture that you have seen, right? Similarly, in case of a recurrent neural network, right, there are a variance like a LSTM, like a GRU, a bidirectional RNN, by using LSTM, by using a GRU, right, a stacked RNN. So these are the variants of the RNN that you will be able to get, but purpose is again a same. So purpose, people have said that these things that, okay, so I'll not just give you the output. I will try to store some of the context of the output as well, which I'm going to like utilize for giving you a new outcome, right? Now, so inside this, so there is another thing comes into a picture that is called as a sequential model. Sec kind of a model comes into a picture. So again, researchers has proposed that, okay, so one RNN cell is fine. I'll talk about RNN cell. So how it looks like. I have just given you the symbolic diagram, right? But you can try to understand this as an entire architecture. So entire architecture is closed within this one. I'll talk about that architecture as well, right? But here, so people have said that in a NLP, there can be a different kind of a task which I can try to perform. So it maybe I can try to do a POS tagging. Maybe I can try to do a NER, name entity recognition. Maybe I can build a question answering system, right? Maybe I can try to build a fill in the blanks kind of a system, right? Maybe I can try to build a sentiment analyzer. So there are a multiple different kind of a task which is possible in case of NLP, right? So we can try to, so instead of taking only one cell, what we can do is we can try to take a sequential cell, right? So it's not like a CNN, because in CNN, so we try to pass one image having all the properties, means all the features in one images. But here, so we have a word, we have a tokens, and like every tokens try to try to describe itself in a different way, and it will be having a different kind of effect on the entire sentences, right? So people have said that, okay, so I can try to build a sequential model, right? So I can try to build a sequential model, and in case of a sequential model, it could possible that I can try to pass a multiple input, right? So maybe x1, maybe x2, maybe x3, maybe x4, right? Maybe x4, multiple input I can try to pass. When I'm saying multiple input, simply means that a multiple word I can pass. So suppose if I'm chatting with a chatbot, sometimes I say hi, sometimes I say how are you, right? So sometimes I'm trying to pass only one token, sometimes I'm trying to pass a multiple tokens. So people said that, okay, fine. So like there can be a multiple inputs which I can pass, right? And there can be a multiple output I will be able to get, right? A multiple output. So let's suppose if I'm saying hi, system will be able to give me hi, right? Or maybe if I have designed in such a way that it will give me hi, how you doing, possible, right? So there could be a possibility that there it can give you a multiple output, y1, y2, y3, y4, right? So this kind of a structure is called as a sec to sec. Again, it's a part of sequential architecture itself. Now the another kind of possibility is, so you have a model, right? Here just try to focus on this one. So we are giving input and it is giving me output, but some vector we are trying to pass to the next one as well, so that it will be able to remember that last time what kind of input I have taken, what kind of output I was able to get. So sec to sec means multiple input, multiple output, or you can say many to many, right? So many input, many output. Now here, so you can try to design a network, right? You can try to design a network where you can try to pass this. This is how it is connected, right? So x1, x2, x3, x4, and it will just try to give you one y, right? So this is nothing but it's called as a sec to vec, basically. So it's called as a sec to vec, means you are trying to pass a sequence of a data at a time, and then you are able to get only one. So again, this is the kind of a diagram, this is the kind of architecture which is possible. Now the third type which is possible, again it's similar. So maybe I can try to pass only one data, and then I will be able to get only one output. So I can say vec to vec. Now if I'll talk about like this kind of a situation, I can try to pass only one data, but I'm able to get a multiple outcome. Yeah. So this is called as vec to sec. Yeah. So SEQ. So basically, these are the kind of a flow which is possible inside a sequential model. Now, this small diagram that you are able to see over here, right? So this small diagram is representing an entire cell, an entire RNN cell. It can be LSTM, it can be like a GRU, gated recurrent unit, or long short-term memory. But yes, it could be any of these two things which you can try to pass, and then based on that, it will try to process it, right? So these are the overview. These are the generic architecture which I will be able to create, just like in a CNN, right? So in case of a CNN, so what we have done, convolution has not changed, pooling has not changed, padding has not changed. So what we have changed is the architecture, the arrangements we have changed. So even we can do a similar kind of a things in case of a RNN, or in case of a sequential model architecture whenever we are going to create. So these things are like pretty much possible, and you all will be able to do it. Now, so how we'll be able to do it? What about this round circles that I have created, right? What is the meaning of these things? How it is going to process our data? Because a recurrent neural network is fine. A concept or fundamentals are pretty easy and straightforward, that it will try to take the input, it will give you output, it will try to give you two output, one output as a final outcome from that particular cell, and the another outcome is nothing but it will try to give you some kind of a feedback for the next one, right? So that it will be able to remember, it will be able to memorize, and then it will be able to perform some kind of a operation, right? Okay, so this is what happens in case of a recurrent neural network. This is the fundamentals. Again, once we'll get into a variety of variants of the recurrent neural network, so you will be able to understand it. So again, I can try to do the arrangements of the recurrent neural network in a multiple way. So just like a CNN, right? So in a CNN, so we have done arrangement in a multiple way. Same thing we can try to achieve even over here in this particular case. So as a part of this sec-to-sec model, right? So now we are going to talk about, I can say, one architecture, one very famous architecture that is called as LSTM. Again, implementation wise, it's very much easy. If you understand the architecture, implementation wise, nothing. Whatever like a model, whatever architecture which I was talking about here, right? A generic architecture, you can implement it in a very easy way, right? It's just like a creating like a one entire sequence, one entire pipeline for an entire model. You just have to pass the data and your work will be done. This is how easy it is, right? So now let's try to understand LSTM. So full form of LSTM is nothing but a long short term memory. Okay. So now let's try to understand that what is this a long short term memory, how it is going to work. So in long short term memories, it's a network architecture, just like a variance of a CNN. So it's a variance of architecture that people have created. Now in this architecture, so you will be able to find out that, let me open up one of the architecture first of all. So, okay, I am able to open up this one. Okay. So now in this architecture, what people have done is, so they have created a multiple gates. So in this architecture, people have created a multiple gates, and we will try to understand all of those gates one by one by one. Okay. So this architecture is a little bit complex. So just try to focus over here for some time and you all will be able to understand the architecture. And again, from interview perspective, this is very much important, right? So LSTM and GRU architectures are very much important. And going forward, based on this architecture itself, we are going to learn encoder decoder as well. So again, even like transformers, encoder, decoder, many things you will be able to understand based on this particular architecture. So in LSTM, what they have done is they have named these things as a long short-term memory, right? And there was some purpose behind doing this particular operation. There was a certain purpose that people was having, I can say, right? So here, let me draw one box. I think this will be okay. Yeah. Now, so long short-term memory we are going to, or we are like trying to understand. So how long short-term memory is going to work. So when people have created, researchers have created this long short-term memory, so they have said that okay, so I have to create a channel which will be able to give me an output. That is one objective. Second objective is, so I have to create a channel which will be able to update a memory, and I have to like create a channel which will be able to like store all of those informations from the past, right? So keeping these things in mind, so they have end up creating a multiple gates. So I was talking about this small circle, right? This is a small circle which I have designed. So now this is the like unwrapping of, you can say, like a small circle we are going to do. Let's try to understand how and like how it is going to work, how it is going to behave. So as we all know that for any kind of a input, right? So like for any kind of a model, we will try to give a input. So let's suppose if I'm trying to give one input, or maybe it's better if we can try to like take some predefined images itself. Let me search that one. It will be easier for me to explain. Okay, so this is the network architecture that you are able to see, and this is something called as a LSTM, right? So instead of drawing these things, it's better to use this image again in your slides. So same image is mentioned. So yeah, even in course notebook, these things are already available. Yeah. So fine. I think you all are able to like see the architecture, right, guys? Everyone? Yes. Okay. Fine. Now, this is the LSTM architecture. We will try to understand this particular architecture, like how data will flow. And I was talking about the small cell, right? So that was basically a cell, like we are just trying to expand that cell. So this is what happens inside one unit, one cell. So in case of a neuron, it's not like a cell was not equivalent to a neuron. So don't try to, the diagram that I have drawn, right? So sec to sec diagram. So in that one, that was not a neuron. That was basically a cell. It can be a LSTM cell. It can be a GRU cell. Okay. So here, right, if you will try to understand all of those things. So here you will be able to see XT. Now, what is XT? XT is nothing but it's a input at time T. So again, this entire things works on a time axis, right? So equivalent to a time. So on top of a time axis, this entire things is going to work. Okay. So here you will be able to find out xt means input at time t. As of now, I have given some input. I'm just talking about one cell. Then I'll talk about the entire sequence. So here I'm trying to give one like a input at time t. That is fine. Now here you will be able to find out some symbols, right, which has been given. So wherever this yellow one is been used, so it simply means that it's a neural network layer. Wherever this round circle is been used, right, so it's a point-wise operation, plus addition operation, multiplication operation, you can say in that way. Yeah, this is nothing but it's just a vector transfer, means data is flowing from there to there. Now this is nothing but it's a concatenation, means wherever we have this one, and this is nothing but it's a copy operation that we are trying to do. So just try to remember this symbol. Okay, so here I will try to transfer one data xt at time t. So let's suppose if I'm trying to transfer that hi, or let's suppose if I'm trying to transfer one simple data, right? So let's suppose if I'm trying to build one sec to sec model, right? And HELL, it is supposed to give me O. So I'm trying to build this kind of a model where I will give HELL and it will try to propose me a next word. In WhatsApp, this is what happens, right? So if you try to start typing like a ABCD, whatever, it will start proposing you some kind of a text, right? So like this is the kind of a things I'm looking for. This is the kind of a system I'm looking for, like architecture, which I'm looking for. So first of all, I will have to train, right? I'll have to train with a huge amount of a data and then I will be able to get. So now let's talk about a training condition or training phase. So what will happen at the time of training, right? So at the time of training, I will try to pass all sort of a combination of a different word, right? So let's suppose I have just scrapped the data from a Wikipedia and just trying to give it to them. So let's suppose at time t, I have given H, right? As of now, my model is completely blank. I don't have anything, any kind of a vector inside my model. It's completely blank, right? I'm trying to train it from the very scratch. So here I can try to give H over here, right? Now H will get inside this one, the first one, right? First one that you are able to see. So H will get inside this one. Now what is this? It's nothing but it's a neural network layer. So this representation is nothing but it's a representation of a neural network layer. And from here, so you will be able to find out that we are getting some data from time t minus 1, right? So what is time t minus 1? So at time t, current time, we are trying to pass H, and from time t minus 1, right? I don't have anything. I'm just trying to start my training for the very first time, right? So this is my like a completely new model, which I'm trying to use. Nothing has been like a trained so far. So I will try to pass H, and then this factor will be equal to 0 for the very first time, right? Next time when I will try to pass E, this will change. So this factor will be equal to what? This factor will be equal to 0. I will try to pass H. Now, so possibly we can't try to pass like a H directly, right? I have to convert H into a numeric value and then I'll have to pass it. So maybe I can try to call enumeration. So enumeration will try to give me like a enumerated key and value pair, right, for every character. And then I can try to pass enumerated key over there. That is fine. Or else maybe I can try to like convert these things into a vector space, and then I can try to pass a vector. Both things are possible in a practical. We'll try to understand those part as well. So here I'm trying to pass this X, and it will get inside this neural network. Now this neural network is trying to give me some output, right? It is trying to give me some output. And here, so I'm trying to call this as a FT. Now, what is FT? What we are trying to give inside a FT, right? So FT is nothing but it's a forget gate. It's called as a forget gate. Forget gate, basically. So this particular channel, this particular layer, which I have marked it, right? So this is called as a forget gate. What will happen inside the forget gate? So I have given input as of now, right? And input from past is equal to 0. I have given a current input. Input from past is equal to 0 because this is the very first time for my model, right? So it will get inside a neural network. Now what happens inside neural network? Input into weight, it try to multiply. This is what happens in case of a neural network, right? So, okay. So initially there will be unknown weights. So here, if you will try to understand this one, so their weight is trying to multiply. Weight is trying to multiply with what? Weight is trying to multiply with a previous input, the data input that we are getting from the previous channel, and the current input plus bias we are trying to add. Bias is the optional one. We all know about these things. Yeah. So forget gate, this FT will try to give you output of this one, output of this neural network. So you will try to pass. So you can try to pass like a current input and in output from the previous one. HT is nothing but output from the previous one, HT minus 1. So I'm able to get. So this time it will be equal to 0, right? So if this is equal to 0, so in a very first place, it will try to pass what? Weight into current input plus biases. So FT will be what? In a very first place, FT at time 1, let's suppose, will be nothing but it's the output of a neural network, or sigma is basically nothing but it's the activation function that we are using, right? So it can be anything. It can be a ReLU, it can be a tanh, it can be anything, any kind of activation function, depends upon my neural network, which I have used over there. So here, like there will be like a weight and then XT plus bias, right? This is what it will give. It will try to pass because HT is equal to HT minus 1 is equal to 0 as of now in a very first pass. Then it is trying to go over here, and here you can try to find out a multiplication symbol, right? So it is trying to multiply. It is trying to multiply with what? So it is trying to multiply with this context vector from previous. So you will be able to find out, right? You will be able to find out that HT is nothing but it's a output from the previous one. Whatever output that I have received, that is basically whatever output I have received last time when I have given the input. So HT is that one. So now it will become HT minus 1 for this current time, right? And then this is nothing but it's a context vector that we are trying to store. Means context vector simply means that you can say like a summarization of the entire sentences we are trying to store over there in terms of a context vector. Okay, so we are trying to multiply. We are trying to multiply this with this one, and this vector will be equal to 0 because this is the very first time for a model. So this entire things will be equal to 0. This entire thing is forget gate multiplication, and this one will be equal to 0, right? This one will be equal to 0 in this particular place. As simple as that, right? So it will be equal to 0. Now, this is one of the gate. This is called as a forget gate. Means it will help. It will help to change the context vector, or it will help to change the effectiveness of the previous one. If if my model, if this model or this neural network is trying to give me some outcome, right? And if I'm just trying to multiply. So let's suppose if it is trying to give it context vector we have, right? So let's suppose I'm able to learn something like a finance, but let's suppose I have changed the topic. I'm now talking about a chemistry or maybe physics, which is not a finance, right? So chemistry and physics will get from where? From the new data, right? And finance will come from where? From this one, right? So we are just trying to do the multiplication operation. That okay, fine. So if both are same, right? If both are same, in that case, it will try to increase it. Otherwise, it will try to decrease it, I'll say. Okay, so just a vector multiplication that we can try to perform over here. And this channel is called as a forget gate. So it will help to change the context, or it will help to forget the context. Now, the next channel. This is one of the channel which is called as a forget channel. Now, this is the second channel that you will be able to find it. This channel which I have marked, right? So this channel is called as a memory channel, right? Now, what is a meaning of this memory channel? How it is trying to create a memory. So here again, you will be able to find out that inside this memory channel, So we are trying to give input, current input, and we are trying to take input from the previous one, right? So we are trying to give a current input. We are trying to give a current input, plus we are trying to take input from the previous one. This is common, right? This line is common over here. So it is going inside this one, as well as inside this one. So now here what will happen? Here we have a neural network, right? So it will try to give me some output. So what output it will try to give me, right? Same as this FT, right? So here if you try to understand this one, so this is same as FT, right? Same output, right? We are able to get. If you will try to compare, right? Just bias is like a different, again depends like what kind of a bias that you have taken. So it's giving me same output as a FT. It's like it is taking HT minus 1 and then XT, right? HT minus 1 XT means a previous input, current input, multiplication by the weight, right? And then final output. Now it is trying to pass this data even inside this one, inside the hypertangent. And we all know, right? We all know that in between what to what range. So hypertangent is basically activation function, right? So it will try to pass, or it will try to pass a data, or it can be used for the data normalization as well. So we are trying to pass this two data, means current data and the previous output, both inside the hypertangent function as well. So we are trying to pass these things inside the hypertangent function over here, and we are trying to multiply. We are trying to multiply this current input, right? Current input and previous input, previous output, right? So inside the neural network, so whatever neural network is going to give it to me, I'll try to multiply these things with the activation, means whatever activation output which I will be able to get. Why we are doing this? So this is basically a memory channel. So in memory channel, so we are supposed to control that how and how much we are going to memorize. We have to control that particular factor, right? So that's the reason. So we have introduced what? We have introduced a hypertangent, which will try to give you the normalized one, or which will try to activate, or which will help you out to change the to add the context by certain volume. It's not like you can try to add anything in a context. No. So you have to add, or you have to modify by a some reason or some range of the vector. So this is what it will try to learn, and it will try to control over here. And here we are again doing a multiplication, right? So the final outcome which you will be able to get over here is nothing but, it's nothing but, I'll say that the outcome that you are able to get now multiplied by, so here in this particular case, I will be able to get IT. Yes. And this is, let's suppose, giving me C delta T at time T, right? Now I will try to multiply IT into CT. I will try to multiply IT into CT. I will try to multiply. Now what I will do, I will try to add these things. I will try to add these things with what? With this one, right? I'm just trying to add these things with this one. Now what is this one? So this is nothing but this into this. This is nothing but FT into this one, right? So here you will be able to get FT, means forget gate output, into context from the time T minus 1. So this is what you will be able to get here. And we are trying to add this one with a activated memory. So it means simply that we are trying to add something into a memory. So for the very first time when I have passed H, right, this was equal to 0. So here it will be 0. Because this into this is equal to 0. So here it will be 0 for the very first time, right? When I'm trying to pass just H. Now, so this will be equal to 0. This is going to give you some outcome for sure, right? It is going to give you some outcome. So you will try to add this plus what? This plus I into CT, which you are trying to create the context, C delta T. So you are trying to create now a context. So previously context is equal to 0, but now I have passed some kind of a data. So because of that, I'm able to build the context over here. Now this is the context line that you will be able to find out. That is fine. Now this, like I told you, this is called as a memory channel, or it is trying to, you can call these things as a context channel. It is trying to build the context. The previous one helps to forget it or decrease the value of the previous context, right? This one is trying to increase the value of the previous context, right? Or maybe trying to add something, I will say. Okay. Now this is the another gate. This is the another gate that we have, right? And this is called as a output gate. in this particular place. So this is called as the output gate. Again, you can see that both the input we are able to get ht minus 1 means previous output, and as well as we are able to get the current output, a current input we are able to get over here. So we are able to get current input plus a previous output we are trying to pass over here, right? So it will get inside this network. So again, if I'll talk about OT is what? So weight of this network, right? Into previous output and current input. This is what we have written. So it's the same as this one. These three are same, right? Plus bias. It's same, right? So this is what we are like trying to do. So it will be able to give you, but that will not be a immediate output, right? That will not be an immediate output. So how it is going to give you the final output? Final output is nothing but it's a HT, right? So how it will be able to give you final output? So final output is nothing but whatever outcome that you will be able to get out of this one into whatever output which will come from here, context, right? So it is trying to multiply, it is trying to multiply a vector of a context vector which I have already created, and throughout the network, right, throughout the data like a data that we were trying to pass. So throughout that like instances, I was keep on passing those things, and I'm just trying to multiply it. So whenever I'll give the output, I will try to multiply each and every context from the like a past, and then I will be able to give you output at time t. Now this output will go over here and it will become t minus 1 for the next one, right? This output is going over there, and this context will go over here. It will become ct minus 1, right? So it will be like a context of the like a previous one. This is how it will be able to identify. This is how it will be able to adjust itself. So now this things is very simple. If you try to look into this one cell, this is simple, a forget gate. This is like you can say a memory channel. It is helping you out to build a memory, and this is nothing but it's a output channel. This is the output channel. So there are three channels that people have introduced inside a single network itself, inside a single cell itself. So there are three channels which has been introduced, right? So one which helps you out to forget or to diminish the previous context, the second one which will help you out to build a new one, and the third one which will help you out to give you the outcome. And again, you can see that that outcome is just not a straightforward outcome. We are considering the context vector, and then we are trying to multiply. We are trying to pass these things to a hypertangent. We are trying to multiply it, and then we are able to get the final output, right? So this is what we are trying to use in case of a RNN LSTM network. As a simple mathematical intuition which has been given to you, I'll say, right? A very simple mathematical intuition which is available to you in a simplest possible way. So here, now next time, first time I have passed HE double L. Let's suppose I'm trying to train these things with this data. First time I have passed H, right? Okay. Next time I'll try to pass E for training, at the time of training of the data. Now, when I'm trying to pass E over here, right? When I'm trying to pass E in this particular place, then what will happen? So now we have something from a past. We have already passed H over here. We have something from a past, right? So what I can do over here is, right? So I will be able to get outcome. So whatever outcome it has given to me last time, whatever vector outcome it has given to me last time, so I must be having this kind of a outcome. So yes, I can try to use it. st minus 1. So this time ht is not blank. St is not equal to 0. Even this time ct is not equal to 0. Ct minus 1, right? Because last time I have added something. I have added some kind of a context into this one, and this is what I'm trying to perform. This is what I'm trying to process in this particular thing. So basically it always try to runs on a time axis at time t is equal to like starting from 0 to starting from time t to n. So again, depends upon like what is the total inputs that you have, and it will keep on sending a data. Now, so in case of this particular operation, now, so if I'm trying to train this hello, so it could possible that I can try to create this model which can try to take a multiple input, right? So HE double L, and then so this one end of sentence or end of token I can represent. output, maybe O, right? So here you can see that I need a sec2vec, right? Sec2vec model I need, and everywhere, right? Everywhere. So we are trying to pass input. So HELL we are trying to pass, and everyone is connected. So means whatever outcome that it will be able to give, it will try to pass to the next one, then to next one, then to next one, and then to next one, right? And each and every cell can be a LSTM cell. So here in total, how many LSTM cell that we are using? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 LSTM cell that we are using. So whatever architecture that we have discussed, so such kind of a 5 different like architecture, such kind of a 5 different cell that we are using. So means equivalent to that architecture. So this is also LSTM. This is also LSTM. This is also a LSTM. This is also a LSTM, and this is also a LSTM. So sec to sec, sec to vec, vec to sec, and sec to sec that we have discussed, it's nothing but it's just a fundamental. On top of that, so we can try to add this kind of a base model. Now, there are multiple base models which can be possible. LSTM is one of those base model which will try to like remember, which will try to add something into a memory, which will try to forget something, or which will be able to give you some kind of a some sort of a outcome. Yeah. So this is something that you will be able to find out now. So let me take some question, and after that I will like start digging deeper into this one. Number of word is equal to number of LSTM? No, it depends. So it depends that how I'm trying to create my tokens. So yeah, so like Seshu is asking me a question that whether number of word is equal to number of LSTM? No, it depends. Like I have like a 10,000 words. So it's not like I will just try to imagine in this way, right? Just try to imagine in this way, I'll say. So suppose neural network I have, right? Suppose I have a neural network. This is how we design a neural network, right? So here I have created only 4 neurons which will be able to receive. It doesn't mean that I will be able to pass only 4 data, right? I can have like a thousands of data. I can try to pass batch by batch, batch by batch. So at a time 4 I will try to pass. Same thing happens even over here. So whenever you're trying to create a sec to sec, right, doesn't mean that you can create like a 10,000. Another thing is, so here I'm trying to pass a word, right? A single word. It could possible that here my token is what? My token is a word. It could possible that I can create a token by like here my token is character. I'll say it could possible that I can try to create a token by using a single word. So instead of passing H, I'll try to pass HELLO. But it depends upon what? It depends upon the task which I'm trying to perform. Right. So what kind of a task that I have? It's not like every time I will be able to do this kind of use cases. Now, so Samir is asking that LSTM can be used for the time series. Extensively it's been used, and even in your like a syllabus we are going to use LSTM to solve a time series problem, because in time series what happens is in time dependent data, right, what happens is something you are supposed to predict based on the something which has happened in a past. Means if you are able to remember the past, then only you will be able to predict something. This is what happens with the time series data, right? So in deep learning you can start from the LSTM. You can start, not LSTM, I'll say from the RNN. LSTM is a variant of RNN, right? So you can use RNN openly to solve any kind of a time series data. And again, if you're going to use encoder decoder, you will be able to solve time series data in a much better way. In a much robust way, you will be able to create a model. So we have a time. So this is just a basic idea that I'm trying to give it to you. For LSTM, there are many models which will come into a picture, plus implementation, and you will see that how easily you are able to solve a time series problem, that you will not be able to do it with using a ARIMA, ARMA, or all those like a machine learning model. It's painful, but here it's very easy. Just like a small line of a code, and you will be able to build a robust model, right? Whole sentences can be a single LSTM. You can do that if I'm trying to solve that kind of a use cases. So like I told you, so the input that we used to give, right, that depends how we are tokenizing the data for which use cases. So just wait for some time. I think this is just your very first class. Can LSTM be used instead of CNN? No, for image, you don't need it, right? So because LSTM always do like a heavy computation, you can see that inside a single LSTM, we have a multiple neural network itself, right? We have a multiple neural network inside the single LSTM. And on top of that, so we have other computation, right? So, and you will end up like increasing. And again, so in case of images, there is no need of memorizing what I have done in a past, right? There is no need of doing that. But if I'll talk about the image annotation, right? If I'll talk about the image annotation, so I'll show you that architecture as well. We'll discuss, and we have an image annotator. Now, like we are going to see like a practical example as well. So in case of image annotation, so you will be able to find out that it's a combination of CNN plus RNN. So we are going to get into that points as well. Accuracy of LSTM will be better than RNN. See, RNN is a generic thing. When I say CNN, right? CNN is a generic thing. Like this, likewise, RNN is a generic concept, right? RNN simply means that, okay, whatever I'll get as an output, I'll just try to pass that as an input for the next one, right? On a time axis. So that is what RNN is. Variants of RNN, just less like CNN. CNN is a very generic architecture, right? Very generic concept. Convolution, pooling, done, right? But you must have seen a different architecture. Similarly, you can try to consider. Just wait for some time. I think you will get that idea. Accuracy of, can you please post the older batch recording of NLP? Okay, just wait. So even in your class, it has already started. Difference between concatenation and addition. Concatenation, generally it's been referred in terms of, I can say, like a vector concatenation or maybe a string. Addition means numerical operation. Can we say RNN and CNN is for different application? Indeed, it's for different application. Okay, so okay, I was thinking of something to show you. I just forgot. Okay, RNN LSTM is done. Okay, I'm not able to recall now. LSTM I was talking about. Fine, sec to vec. Where to download a Stanja? Just try to search Stanja Stanford, right? And you will be able to get their official GitHub repository. Links also you will be able to get it over there. HT-1 and HT will be numeric. Yes, it will be, it's a vector, right? So even whatever data that we are trying to send, so that is a vector data. I'll show you like how it works in actual. So, okay, I was just trying to show you something. Okay, so let me give you just a brief idea about like implementation, right? So it's very easy. It's like just like I told you, right? So suppose if I have to design some network, right? and where it will be able to take, suppose if I have to design a network where it will be able to take, I'll go through my notebook in a later stage, but as of now, I'm just showing you like some repository, that's it. So here you can see that like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So 5 LSTM, let's suppose if I have, and then it could possible that I'm looking for one output or two output, this kind of architecture if I have to create. So let's try to understand how easy it is, right? How easy it is to create that kind of architecture. So what you can do is, over here is like you can try to import TensorFlow and all those things, right? So import Keras and everything. Once this import is done, let's wait. Yeah. So I'm just using like an official repository, official implementation of a Keras from a Keras itself, right? So we are just trying to like import all of those things, and then so in like in case of a CNN, so you must have seen that we used to call sequential. We are doing the same thing. We are calling what? We are still calling sequential, means we are trying to build a pipeline, right? Now in this pipeline, what we have to do? So we have to build like a five cell we have to add, right? So I can try to add model.add. This is the like a object of a model that we have created, the entire pipeline, and then this object dot add, right? And we are trying to like call these things like, okay, fine. So input dimension is equal to 1000 and output dimension is equal to 64, right? So this is what output embedding dimension of the size 64. This is what we are trying to give, and input vocabulary of size 1000 we are going to give, let's suppose. So here we are trying to define input and we are trying to define the output dimension. Simple, right? So what will be the size? Size is different, and then number of outcome is different, right? So we are just trying to define the size of one output. It could possible that I can give two word and each word can have a different size, 3 size, 4 size, something like that, right? This is how you should understand in terms of NLP. So here let's see how easy it is. So 5 I have to like create, right, LSTM. So what I can do is I can try to call model.add, and then over here, right, I want 5 unit, done, right? 2 output I'm looking for, right? And size I have given as 64. So means till 64 word it will be able, till 64 character it will be able to give you the output. If it is lesser than that, it's fine, but it will not be able to give you more than that. In that case you will have to increase. So this is how easy it is to create a network, right? Done. Simple, right? So if I have to create this kind of architecture, let's see, right? So embedding, so 64,000 parameter LSTM. So we have created like a 5, right? A 5 sequential model. So here, if you try to check the definition, right? So a fully connected RNN with where the output from the previous timestamp to be fed into a next timestamp. This is what it says, right? So yeah, it's too easy, right? I'll just have to like prepare my data set. I'll just try to pass my data set inside this one, and then my work is done. So I just have to work on a data pre-processing part, kind of an output that I'm looking for, and my work is done completely. Network architecture creation wise, I can try to call maybe LSTM, I can try to call maybe a GRU, and in an easiest possible way, immediately I will be able to build the model. I will be able to perform this kind of a application. So see, code is nothing, I'll say, right? So again, if you're looking for RNN API, so there are like LSTM, GRU, simple RNN layer, time distributed layer you will be able to get, bidirectional layer you will be able to get, conv LSTM 2D layer you will be able to get, and base RNN layer you will be able to get. So inside a Keras documentation itself, you will be able to get a different kind of a RNN, which we will try to discuss for sure. The way we have discussed a CNN, so in the similar way we'll try to discuss. But as of now, I'm just trying to show you that, okay, so how easy it is. How easy it is to create any number of the RNN cell and then just like get these things done. Simple, right? I can try to create a stacked RNN as well, right? RNN on top of RNN on top of RNN. That is called as a stacked RNN or a stacked LSTM. I will be able to perform those kind of operations as well in a easiest possible way. So coding, you will be able to find out is again, it's nothing, right? I just have to work on a data pre-processing layer. Data preparation, yes, you will have to like focus on a data preparation layer. That is not that easy sometime. And again, it depends upon like a kind of a problem statement that we are trying to solve, which we will learn, not an issue. So which we will learn anyhow, gradually, one by one, one by one. Other part like a optimizer, loss function, whatever we have seen even in our last case, right? So it's a same thing we are going to observe, right? So there are many different kind of RNN which is possible. So in this week, so you can try to take this task as a homework. You can try to explore, just explore, right? I'm not talking about any specific thing. Just try to explore. If you understand a basic of all of those things, just try to explore it by yourself, right? And so that we can try to get into a application part, right? Coding, I don't think that you will not be able to understand. You will be able to understand. So now, anyone who is having a doubt with this RNN LSTM architecture, anyone? So first of all, we'll try to clarify this doubt with the architecture. And yes, remember it, because these things are important. This is very much important when you will go for the interview. It counts a word or a character. I have a doubt. Counts, like where it is counting. Do we have a vanishing gradient issue here? It depends upon what kind of what kind of activation you are trying to use, right? And what kind of optimizer you are going to use. Depends upon that, vanishing gradient will be introduced. So whatever concept that we have learned in terms of vanishing gradient, same concept will be followed even over here. Explain more about stacked LSTM. Don't worry. So there are variants of LSTM I'm going to talk about. This is just a basic idea that I'm trying to give you. Base architecture is not, this is the base model. Based on this base model, we'll talk about this bidirectional, stacked, all of those things. Yeah. Okay, so Ved is asking why the name is long sought, right? So see, there is a reason behind this a long sought as well. If you'll just try to go through its like a research paper, I think I forgot to tell you, right? So here it can consider a long sentences, but like what is the name? Long short term memory, right? So it can consider a long sentences, but it will be able to store it for a short term memory. Because what we are trying to do, so we are keep on updating this context, right? And we are keep on forgetting the previous one. So it will be able to understand, it will be able to memorize the, it will be able to take a long word, long sentences, right? But for the very first time, it is having just a short term memory. That's called as a STM, right? Short term memory. So but it will be able to remember for the very first last for the very small time of very fraction of the time, or for the very a small epoch, it will be able to learn, because memorize, right? Because we are keep on changing these things, right? So this is the that's the reason. So it's called as a long short term memory. What is the use of forget gate? See, why we are using forget gate over here is it's very simple, right? So I'm keep on adding a new context, right? Let's suppose I don't have a forget gate, right? Let's suppose I'm not using forget gate. So in this case, what will happen is I will keep on adding a new context. So I have added let's suppose I have started talking to you, right? I have talked about finance, then I talked about a banking, then I talked about a data science, then I talked about a statistics, then I talked about let's suppose physics, right? I started talking about. So what I'm trying to do, I'm just adding the context again and again and again, right? I'm just trying to add the context again and again and again, right? For every sentences, I keep on adding the context. But I'm not supposed to do that, right? I'm supposed to learn or memorize in such a way that if context has changed, right, it should not create the mixture of the context. It is supposed is keep on reducing it, right? It's keep on reducing the previous one based on the current, right? So whatever current data that we are trying to give, so it's supposed to forget the previous one. That's the reason. So we have a forget gate. It will help. That's the reason we are doing a multiplication over there, so that it will help help this network out to reduce the effectiveness of the previous context, and then in a next channel we are trying to add the new context, right? So that's the reason. So we have a forget gate. Otherwise it will be a addition of the entire context, and now it will not be able to understand that which context I'm talking about. So I think I'm making sense. Yeah. Ajit has asked question. Okay. Okay. Previously you told that concept in CNN will be useful in NLP. Can you please justify? So yeah, concept of CNN will be useful in terms of a transfer learning, right? So we are going to talk about a transfer learning based model. So those concepts plus there are some use cases you will be able to find out, right? Where you can use a combination of CNN plus RNN, and that is something that we use in general in a real time as well. And you are going to like build those things. So those places CNN will be used. And one more thing, yeah. So we talked about a ResNet. In ResNet, so we have basically like basically a unit connection or a skip connection, right? Similar kind of a skip connection you will be able to see even in like transformers. That's the reason I told you like CNN architecture is going to help you out even over there. So we'll try to talk about transformers, and attention is all you need. Attention model we'll try to talk about. You will be able to understand that over there people are using a SIP connection and for the same purpose. Word embedding, everything will be discussed. Don't worry. So it's just a part of NLP. So we have just started RNN. Writing an email starts giving a suggestion for the whole sentences. LSTM is the reason. Yes, previously LSTM was the reason. Now, like your transfer learning model is the reason. So now attention is the reason, you can say. Okay. So fine, guys. I'm just leaving this up to you, right? So you just have to like go through official documentation. Always try to follow official. Never try to follow like some kind of a blogs or articles. I never suggest it, right? And just try to follow it and just like go through it. If you're able to understand it, it's fine. If you're not able to understand it, leave it. Leave everything. Don't worry. So everything we are going to discuss in a class itself, right? So we have to discuss because many things, many just like a CNN, so many concepts will be involved and many application we have to build. So with that, thank you so much, and see you again in the next class. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Especially like a LinkedIn post. Yeah, you're not. Yeah, LinkedIn post. I can see like everyone is trying to post something. Yes, and like all like try to behave like a author. Ved is also saying the same thing, right? And yeah, like they don't even know like what they are trying to write and what they are trying to do. Some from somewhere they are just copied it and then they are trying to talk about these things. That's the reason I always suggest go through a research paper and go through official. In official documentation itself, everything is mentioned. Why to look into some articles, right? These people can't even write even I can be wrong maybe when I'm teaching you, right? So by mistake maybe I can try to talk about something in terms of something else, but this documentation, these like a repository is an official repository, right? And it is not like going to be like a wrong at all, right? So and next time, so whenever we'll take a class, so please try to explain me for first 5 minutes. You are going to explain me LSTM, and then I'll start the class. This is how it is going to happen. Yeah. Okay. GAN comes under computer vision. Yeah, GAN is another chapter in itself. So fine, guys. With that, thank you so much. Take rest, and even I'll take rest. And yeah, so just try to like go through everything, and in next class, so back to back, we'll try to start our entire NLP, and we'll see the model, and we'll start building a model in that case. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great night.